Oh, hey everyone. Sorry, I lost consciousness. Okay, so let's get started. Um, I don't know why I'm happy today. It's better to be in a house of mourning than in a house of laughter. Okay, just because people are more sober-minded, and yeah. But I guess enjoy it when happy days come too. 'Cause they're all from the Lord. Um, yeah, let's. I'm gonna start my reading session today. Super late, 12:09 p.m. Yeah. Yeah. I woke up so late today. But then again, I slept late. Um, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like you talk to this person, and then that person, and then that person, and then the day is gone. You know. But regardless of it all, without further ado, let's get started. I just want to thank you for your word, which you allow me to understand and apply what I read into my life. Okay, so I'm going through Exodus 8. Um, yeah, just talking about the plagues. The first plague was the blood. Now we go to the second plague, the frogs. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and say to him, 'Thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will plague all your country with frogs. The Nile shall swarm with frogs that shall come up into your house and into your bedroom and on your bed and into the houses of your servants and your people and into your ovens and your kneading bowls. The frogs shall come up on you and on your people and on all your servants." And the Lord said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals, and over the pools, and make frogs come up on the land of Egypt." So what's happening is God explains to Moses the second plague, and that's just the frogs. Um, yeah, uh, and the frogs will dominate all the the entire country, basically every household, right? It'll infiltrate every house, bedroom, ovens, kneading bowls. They'll be everywhere. Um, and then God tells Moses to tell Aaron, "Hey, stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals, and over the pools, and make frogs come up on the land of Egypt." So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. But the magicians did the same by their secret arts and made frogs come up on the land of Egypt. But again, the Egyptian magicians, God allows the Egyptian magicians to be able to do the same. And that's part of God hardening the Pharaoh's heart. Then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, "Plead with the Lord to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go to sacrifice to the Lord." Moses said to Pharaoh, "Be pleased to command me when I am to plead for you and for your servants and for your people, that the frogs be cut off from you and your houses, and be left only in the Nile. And he said, tomorrow. Moses said, be it as you say, so that you may know that there is no one like the Lord our God. The frogs shall go away from you and your houses and your servants and your people. They shall be left only in the Nile. So Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried to the Lord about the frogs, as he had agreed with Pharaoh. The Lord did according to the word of Moses. The frogs died in the houses, the courtyards, and the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was a respite, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. So it's interesting. The Pharaoh now asks Moses to tell God to remove the frogs. And then Moses says, hey, just let me know when, and I can ask God to remove them. And then Pharaoh's like, how about tomorrow? Which is interesting to me because I'm like, can you just do it right now? But I mean, Pharaoh seems to be a very prideful guy. And yeah. And then Moses says, all right, your wish is my command. By this you will know that the Lord is God. There's no one like him. And then, so what happens is the frogs die in the houses, the courtyards, and the fields. You know, and only in the Nile do they remain, and then they stink up because they're dead. When the Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. So now the Pharaoh's like, all right, we're back to normal. I'm going to be complacent again and ignore God. So, yeah, God is hardening the Pharaoh's heart. The third plague, gnats. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the earth. And the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the earth, so that it may become gnats in all the land of Egypt. And they did so. Aaron stretched out his hand with his staff and struck the dust of the earth, and there were gnats on man and beast. All the dust of the earth became gnats in all the land of Egypt. The magicians tried by their secret arts to produce gnats, but they could not. So there were gnats on man and beast. Then the magicians said to Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. So now the third plague takes place, and that is the plague of the gnats. I think gnats are just flies, right? What are gnats? Well, I guess gnats are a little bit different than flies. But they're different from flies, yeah. But anyways, um, so what happens is, all the dust become gnats, and then they um, just kind of cover the land of Egypt, swarm the land of Egypt. The magicians tried to mimic this, but they cannot. So already on the third one, well, technically I guess fourth, but at the third plague, they're not able to reproduce anymore. Um, and now the magicians are like, this is God. We can't reproduce it. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them. And oh yeah, and then the fourth plague is the flies. So gnats and flies are different. And the Lord said, to Moses, rise up early in the morning and present yourself to Pharaoh. As he goes out to the water, and say to him, thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you and your servants and your people and into your houses. The houses of the Egyptians shall be filled with swarms of flies. And also the ground on which they stand. For on that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, where my people dwell, so that no swarms of flies shall be there, that you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. Thus I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall happen. And the Lord did so. There came great swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses. Throughout all the land of Egypt, the land was ruined by the swarms of flies. So now the fourth plague happens, which is God sending swarms of flies to the people. But the interesting thing is the flies will swarm Egypt, but not the Jews, the land of Goshen. Then I'll put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall happen, and the Lord did so. There came great swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses. Throughout all the land of Egypt, the land was ruined by the swarms of flies. Throughout all the land of Egypt. The land was ruined. So now the flies come and ruin the land of Egypt, but preserves Goshen and the Jews. Then Pharaoh said to Moses and Aaron and said, go, sacrifice to your God within the land. But Moses said, it would not be right to do so, for the offerings we shall sacrifice to the Lord our God are an abomination to the Egyptians. So Pharaoh now called Moses and Aaron and says, hey, go sacrifice to your God. But Moses said, it will not be right to do so, for the offerings we shall sacrifice to the Lord are an abomination to the Egyptians. If we sacrifice offerings abomination to the Egyptians before theirs, will they not stone us? We must go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he tells us. So Pharaoh said, I will let you go to sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you must not go very far away. Plead for me. Then Moses said, Behold, I am going out from you, and I will plead with the Lord that the swarm of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. Only let not Pharaoh cheat again by not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. So Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord, and the Lord did as Moses asked, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, from his people. Not one remained, but Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, did not let the people go. So basically, it's that. Yeah. Pharaoh asks Moses to remove them. He says that remove the flies. He says, "Hey, I'll let your people go. I'll let your people go. Just remove the flies." So then God removes the flies, but then Pharaoh hardens his heart and does not let the Jews go. And that is Exodus 8. And then the time is up. Okay. Okay. Let's get to praying. I don't know, I was laughing and smiling initially, but these negative thoughts are dominating me now. I need to pray and ask for wisdom and discernment from the Lord. Me, myself. Okay, I'm done. Um, done as in like done with my quiet times for the day. But I do want to be prayerful throughout the day. Um, and I feel a little bit comfortable here. I need to relocate. I also bought a new phone because I don't know about my text messages. Kind of missed it. I did have my phone for 2 years and 5 months, so it's time to change. $180. I bought a new one and it's $135 total with shipping and everything. Isn't that crazy? Shipping, activation fee, upgrade fee, all of that. You add it all together, 135. I'll take that. Take that. You know, slight upgrade, but I think it's just the Android support that I'm buying here. They build it in, you know. You have to spend money, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, it's worth it in the sense that I don't want to be missing texts. You know what I mean? That's scary, especially when there are important, potentially important text messages being sent out. I'm gonna submit these jobs, and then I'm gonna relocate, do some exercises, get some lunch, and yeah, get going. I am gonna be sad if it doesn't work out, but it's okay. It's okay. I already learned a lot, and I need to learn more. So I think that's the important thing: is to learn, and grow. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go. Let's go. Do some exercise. Relocate. Do some exercises. Go get lunch. So I don't get hungry at all. I think it's something to do with the breakfast that I eat. Anyways, thanks everyone.